I figured today I could give you a little bit of a treat. Um, I don't know, it's just on a serendipitous adventure a little bit, and came across a disc jockey that I really like a lot. Um, Came across his natal chart. It's a disc jockey named David Morales, and s- no relation to my name or anything else, but apparently found uh, his in the recap of the last podcast with natal Uranus. Basically, um, he has natal Uranus conjunct to his natal Sun. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to share this guy with you. Um, a really talented guy. Um, Here's his chart, and here's Uranus at 26 in Leo. He's got North Node conjunct his Sun as well. North Node is 27. It's a reference point of the eclipses. So when he was born, the eclipse was at 27, and it's conjunct also to his Sun. So there's some type of importance, and his Sun is at 28. So we don't have a time on this guy. He's a disc jockey named David Morales. Usually he was in New York City. I'm not sure where he is now, but I really like his music. I think he mixes stuff really well. I've been following him through many years, and I think he mixes. He disc jockeys, he does these mixes, and he does a fantastic job. He picks the right music. There's a flow, and I really like his music. So I know this podcast had to deal with natal Mars, but I just found it. I figured I'd give you guys a thing about him, a little bit of knowledge on somebody who's got really well talented. Uh, he's well talented. So if anybody knows, there's a star in Leo right now. Um, well, actually, it's it, it, it it's 29 degrees Leo, but it was 29 degrees Leo. It's the brightest star in Leo. It's called Regulus. And when David Morales was born, his natal sun is 28. It conjuncts to this star that's 29 degrees. Obviously, you can't see it on the chart, but it's there. It's an interesting star. You could Google it. It's pretty interesting. It's really interesting interpretations. The star is actually on Donald Trump's ascendant. It's also on Prince's MC, and it's considered. It's got other different names. Regulus is called the brightest star in Leo. It brings some type of importance. There's several different names. It's called the Prince, the Little Prince, um, the Lion's Gate. It's the brightest star in Leo. But for a fun fact, uh, stars take a long time to move or shift, and depending upon the star, it might take several thousand years or whatever. But apparently, it shifted into Virgo. Now it's in Virgo. It's 0 degrees in Virgo, and I think it takes like every, I don't know. I'm not quite sure, 100 years or 1,000 years to go to each degree. So when David Morales was born, it was still there on 29, And I really like the guy's music. I think the guy is really cool. He used to disc jockey in New York. I used to listen to him as a kid, and he if you ever check him out, um, this is one of his sets. I like it a lot. Uh, I'm gonna even try to pronounce where it was at. Emma Emma the Saldali Gav- Gavali, um, whatever. He has some really good um sets. He also, I think he has like, I think he does his in his, I guess his house or something because of COVID. He started up a podcast. I think he stopped because he's on tour, but apparently he does a thing called Morales, I think in on Sundays. Um yeah, he's he's definitely an awesome guy. Um uh, this is his site. Um, his sets, I think he put up a lot of different clips. Um, let me see if I can find one. Uh, I think it's called Sundays with Morales, and maybe he stopped it because he's on tour. I don't know. Um, anyway, it's just plays modern stuff, and like a lot of old house music. You could find his also on he did stuff on like the radio cast WKTU in New York. He did Ministry of Sound. He did a lot. He just did a lot. He's a great, and his mixes that he worked with, I think Mariah Carey, KTU Clubhouse. These are old recordings. Oh, really awesome stuff in the late '90s. The mixes are great. He also worked with Mariah Carey. Um, Worked with a lot of different people. Just an awesome guy. So I guess his importance in life, if you looked at it this way, because his natal sun landed on Regulus, he collaborated, and because he's a Leo, the kingdom is his. His creativity is all out there. He's the lion of the jungle. He's just this thing where he's worldwide known as a disc jockey. Um, you know, uh, for anybody who doesn't know about disc jockeys or anything like that, it's great music. If you don't like one set of his, try others. A lot of his old stuff, I got some white hair. A lot of his old stuff is from old house music. His mixes, just fantastic. Really great guy. And from what I understand, I mean, from what I've seen in interviews and stuff like that, I think he's just a decent guy. He's out there doing simple. He's out there, and I think his zodiac sign pretty much says it all for him. Um, uh, yeah, yeah, he's pretty awesome. I definitely recommend his music if you ever into that type of music. Um, anyway, getting back to uh, natal Mars. Yeah, you know, there's no good or bad in the zodiac and the signs. Um, um, Natal Mars is like the god of love and war. it could represent like different it's a very forceful energy, and it's like well, a lot of people say it's masculinity, you know. Yeah, it could be that. Um, I can't really think of Neil Mars like somebody that I've seen that celebrity wise that seen Mars that's totally outstanding. But I do have to say one thing: if you do find natal Mars in a high, like a high near your MC in your chart, you might want to check out an interesting report. It's by a French uh, scientist who examined athletes and the planet. I think he was actually an astrologer. And he was a French guy, French astrologer, if I'm correct. Let me see if I could find it here. I think it's called the Mars effect research. It's a paper that this guy did, and what he did was he examined athletes. Yeah, it's called the Mars effect, and it's a report. And if you find your Mars high on your chart, and you find yourself to be active, you might check this research paper. But uh, uh, from what I saw, a lot of kind of think there's something to it. If Mars is high, like a physical athlete or whatever, there's like a link to it. There's a thing. My computer is slow. Well, I got a computer coming, a new one that's a little bit faster. So I found um but it is it's so slow. Um yeah, it's called the Mars effect. uh, into astrology by looking at other people and how their charts kind of mimic their personalities or their timelines of like what they go through in life. Anyway, um I'm still trying to bring it up. Gosh, this is crazy. Anyway, I hope to get that new computer going. um anyway, Mars is a big energy kind of thing. um if it hits your MC or AC or one of those sensitive points, it hits your natal sun, transiting wise, it brings in energy for a period of time, maybe roughly 3 or 4 days. But if your natal Mars is high on your chart, you're probably more active than the average person. Um, yeah. Am I still here? Oof. Tough night. All right. Let's see what we got. Here it is. The Mars effect. Well, it's on Wikipedia. And it's a diagram of this guy did like I think a couple of hundred research natal charts and found that there was like some type of connection. Um, yeah. Yeah, it's natal astrology. Um, kind of knew I knew somebody had natal natal Mars and natal Pluto conjunct, um, and he was pretty he was pretty he was he was middle aged, but for being a middle aged person, he was in pretty good shape, and he was a nice guy. Um, but he he had a lot of energy. His natal Mars and his natal Pluto were conjunct. Um, uh, Mars return, that would Mars return would bring a lot of energy. I think it happens like every once a year. Um, yeah, I I kind of I don't know. I think with Mars, Venus, Mercury, those three planets, they're great. There's nothing wrong with them. They bring different energy and stuff like that. But I think the slower planets bring more of a time frame of the individual, of what happens to them. Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. And when they go into certain points of the chart, uh, they bring in significant events, whether it's personality um, or change in their lives. You could see that. We'll look at Saturn. Saturn has returns. You got two returns when you're 29 and when you're 58 or 57, around that time. And those are very significant interpretations, and they're very significant time periods of what actually happens to you during a Saturn return. Um, with Saturn, it's like a lot of work, you know. Um, I don't see a problem with the smaller other planets. It's just, uh, the transits are okay. They do bring certain things in very temporarily, but you can you can I think it's more important to stick with things that are natal. Um, yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna do these different podcasts. I'm gonna end this one right now and start up another one soon. So thank you for watching.